Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Andy Nguyen, and I wanted to preface this review video of the Q with the fact that I know it's been a long time, so a few of the references for prices and keyboards are a little outdated. And also, in the time that it took me to actually edit the video, unfortunately I have lost the main mic audio as well as the face cam. So this review video is only going to be a top-down camera. Hopefully it's not too horrible to watch. Please enjoy the review. Bye. Today I'm going to be doing a quick little review this beautiful board right here. This is the Q, and it's a very expensive endgame board. To start this video off, I just want to mention that this board is on loan to me. I didn't own it. I don't own it. I only used it in short spurts. I used it for about a week to kind of come up with this review. Well, there's no denying it. This board is extremely beautiful. Let's just take a look at it. It is a 65% keyboard. Edges are kind of bezeled, rounded, so it's very smooth, and you can just see the fillet here. It's very nice to look at. This is the bottom. This one has been Cerakoted to be this white. That's the side profile. Let's line it up. You can see the tapping angle here. It is 7%, and the brushed brass weight, extremely nice. It's brushed kind of smooth, but it doesn't attract fingerprints, which is always a nice thing to have. Stainless steel or PVD weight that always attracts fingerprints. But it's a heavy premium board. Right now I have GMK Muted on here. One of the classic sets from the day of old. One of the classic GMK sets. Cost me an arm and a leg, but it's the perfect match for this beautiful Q. 6F Kibi as well, if you're into Kibis. Let's run down the specs. So it is a 65% keyboard, and that means it has the arrow keys and the nav buttons. And here it has a little top right blocker, which really is just an aluminum piece that covers a bit of the keyboard, and it has this nice design on it. It has a right arrow blocker, which most people view it as a more premium feature. So if you have that, it looks nicer. It kind of breaks up the board a bit, and you can see more of the material of the board rather than having everything compressed. Like I mentioned before, there's that heavy brass weight. It's engraved. You can actually feel it here. A very nice touch. It's just, although you don't see it all the time, it's nice to have it there because you know it's there. And whenever you want to show it off, you can just turn the board around. It's basically just a top mount keyboard and very stiff typing experience. That's all you really need to know. Along with that, this is a brass plate board. Brass plate hurts my fingies. It's a little hard to type on after I've felt other materials. I had only tried aluminum. It was fine. Aluminum, brass, they're both stiff. Aluminum a little bit less stiff, brass just a little bit more sharp. But now that I've tried out the softer plates, I don't know. Brass is just not my preference. It's too stiff. Especially with the mounting style, there's no give to it. It's an extremely stiff board. That's all you gotta remember. And the typing angle, like you can see, it's higher than what I usually see, which is like the 6.5 degrees, but it's still pretty comfortable because that front height's pretty low. So you don't really need a wrist rest. You can just tap just like this. Easy. To get more into the nitty gritty, it comes in WinKeyless and WinKey layouts, and the PCB is QMK compatible USB-C. That's what you want. You want USB-C because it's the future. You want QMK compatible so you can control it easily. Some boards use proprietary software to change the layout and ends up being very clunky or hard to use. This ran in 2018 for somewhere around $400 or $500. It was a really cool board at that time because I think that top mount, from what I read, was more popular and more commonplace. But now in 2020, I think that trends are leaning more towards kind of gasket mounting or flexible typing experience or kind of different mounting styles. This board today is more like a classic. I don't know, I don't like the typing experience as much, but this board is undeniably beautiful. No matter how you look at it, it's just so nice looking. And it's a showpiece for sure. But my take is that although it's beautiful with all the rounded corners, no sharp edges, the logo on the top right, and the design of the weight, it's just a very stiff typing experience. It feels premium. You're not gonna regret. I don't know. You might regret. So the group buy price was around $500. Of course, the group buy price doesn't dictate the market price, but the market price for this has gone so high that our Quantric sold 50 units at GB. I don't know how many extras he sold, but there's not a lot in the wild. So if you want this, you're gonna have to hunt for it. People are willing to pay up to $2,000 for it. My buddy was able to sell this for mid 1,000 instantly. He posted up and within minutes he had a buyer. For that price point, I don't know. I'm a budget guy. If you watch my videos, you would know that Endgame, yeah, but paying over $1,000 for one piece of equipment, I don't know. A keyboard being loosely defined as equipment. My take is that the board is beautiful, it's endgame quality, but you really have to love the stiff typing experience and the brass plate. But there are a lot more alternatives if you're looking for a thockier sound or you're looking for a more flexible typing experience. Of course, you can't compare this to a KVD 67 Mark II or a Savage 65, but the Key 65 just dropped, and then the Iron 165 is coming out, and there's all these other 65% keyboards. The Chimera is another one. The 65 version of the Polaris is gonna be a hit. So there's a lot more options, so you really have to commit to this end game if you really want this board. Don't just go hunting for something that's popular or something that people want. Most of my gripes about this board is mostly due to the typing experience. I like sound and I like feel, and this feels stiff and it doesn't sound amazing. It sounds pretty good. My buddy ended up lubing these switches a little bit more heavily because that's his taste and his preference. I also have to mention this board, the spacebar doesn't typically sound very good. I've heard this from many different Q owners. My buddy was able to hack this by using a different switch here. He used a Telio with a cherry top to kind of make it sound better. But overall, people find that this board sounds a little hollow, especially around the spacebar. That's why I kind of focus on the aesthetic and the typing experience. If you like the stiff and you like the aesthetic, maybe the typing angle and height, then yeah, some people may not care. You can be in this hobby for the aesthetics and that's totally fine. And regarding the typing experience, there's only a brass plate. There's no plate files available. So you can't swap this out for a different material. You can't have a new plate made unless you kind of reverse engineer it and get it measured. That's not fun to me. For me, I like the experimentation. I like trying different things. This board is really a commitment. You're committing to putting your money down to get this end game if you love this key. So do I personally think it's worth it? No. I don't think this board is worth... I would maybe stretch to $1,200, but you're not going to find anyone selling this for $1,200. If you have $2,000 burning a hole in your pocket and you really love this aesthetic, which has been dubbed the weave aesthetic, then go for it. But although I love keyboards, I don't love it 2,000 much. I don't love it 1,800 much. I don't love it 1,600 much. I just like the experimentation. So for me, it's not for me, but maybe it's for you. Hopefully you enjoyed that review of this board. This Q is definitely a looker, definitely has a very specific sound and typing experience. It also comes with a very, very high price tag.
And the moment you've been waiting for, the sound test of the Q.
Hey, hopefully you enjoyed that review. And this is just my cursory review of how it feels to me, how it sounds to me, and whether or not I value it as current price. And let me know in the comments what you think about this board. Everyone thinks it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. Cannot deny the beauty of this board, but the price tag, I don't know, man. I don't have that kind of money. Maybe you do. Thanks for watching. Give me a like if you like this kind of content. Subscribe if you want to see more. Click the notification bell so you do not miss any new videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.